The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
I'm going to tell an amazing story. There was a man in Israel who was a pure man of chesed. Every once in a while you get to meet a person who's like this. There's nothing that animates them, that excites them more in this world than doing acts of chesed. It's the same guy who joins Hatzalah and he's part of the Gemach society to lend money to people for payday, before payday, and he's part of the, everything that comes to the issues of kindness in the community. He's picking up things and he's making meals and he's doing, you name it, this guy's doing it. Different people have a penchant for doing different mitzvot. This guy, what did he decide he was going to do? He decided he was going to go out and buy a car, and he was going to use the car only for chesed. Not an expensive car, an old car, but that's what he's going to use it for. Giving people rides, helping patients who have, I remember a friend of mine who had to get cancer treatments at the time. He didn't even have enough money to pay for a cab back and forth every time. So he's so weak, and what is he doing? He's getting on a bus for 45 minutes to get to Hadassah. This type of thing, he found that it was a special mitzvah for him. He would take his car and he would drive people around. He didn't use the car for anything personal. Only thing he used the car for was for mitzvot, for chesed. The one exception was when it came to Chol HaMoed. On Chol HaMoed, this man understood a very deep principle. You want to be a man of chesed, charity begins at home. You can't be a Superman for everybody else and neglect your own children. So the day that he gave his kids the time of day, Yani, he really was on Chol HaMoed. He would take the kids, they would load up the car, they would drive all the way up north in Israel, have a great trip, drive back, do camping, do this, but those are the times when they had the special times with their dad in the car. Other than that, he didn't use the car for anything but chesed. Okay, Vayehi Hayom, Chol HaMoed turns up, all the kids pack up the car, the guy gets in the car, tries to start the car, something happens, a problem with the gear, can't drive the car. He can't believe it. He can't believe it. Here he uses the car every day for chesed, no problem. Now, the minute amount of times he's going to use it for his family, the car is broken down. He can't believe it. His old jalopy, it's true, it's old. But at the same time, it never faltered until now. And he felt in his heart, he didn't understand why Hashem. Okay, he didn't ask questions. He keeps his emunah, takes the car, has it towed to the local garage, and the guy says to him, I'm sorry, the whole gearbox is shot. We're going to need to replace it. It's going to cost you 18,000 shekel. The guy thinks to himself, 18,000 shekel? I don't have 18,000 shekel. But if he wants to carry on doing his mitzvot, he's got to do it. He says, okay, change it. I'll figure out how to come up with the money. When's the car going to be ready? 2 days. All right. At least he'll have a couple days of Chol HaMoed that he could still drive with the kids. He tells the kids, look, we're going to go instead of the first 2 days, Chol HaMoed, we're going to go the last 2 days. Meanwhile, he checks how much he's got. He doesn't have enough money on his card. He gets a friend who has another card. He comes with 3 cards, 4 cards, pick a card, any card. He walks in and he says, I'm here to pick up the car. Can I have the bill, please? The man hands in the bill. He looks down at the bottom of the bill. What does it say? Cost for services, 0 shekel. He says, what are you talking about? There must be some mistake. The guy told me 80. I'm happy to go for free, but maybe this is not my bill. The guy told me. The man behind the counter says, you're absolutely correct. But we got a message. I think it was Volvo. We got a message from Volvo that they had an issue with some cars with the gearbox, and they gave us an ability, a reimbursement, that any car that has done less than 150,000 kilometers, the replacement of the gearbox is free. So you're free to go, you're paid, free and clear, no worries. The guy can't believe it. Odula Hashem Kitov, he's so happy. He can't believe he doesn't have to pay. He walks outside, turns on the car, and as soon as he turns on the car, he notices that his car has on it 149,990 something miles on it. If he would have driven down the block, he would have went over the 150, 18,000 shekel he didn't have. HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes it die exactly when it needs to, because the Volvo message is coming through the wires right now, saying that anyone under the 150 gets the replacement Rabotai for free. Could you imagine if every time your car broke down, you were able to know the end of the story, that the reason why that happened is because your car is at 149,999 and at 150,000 you get a bill for 18 grand. How much easier would our life be? We're asking God to lift up the curtain a little bit and let us get a glimpse of His light, of His face, as it guides us through this magnificent adventure called life.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org